I just typed in Falconer, so it gave me people named Falconer.
There's people named Falconer?
Last name.
Is that a name that you can name a person?
It's last name.
Oh, it's a last
mostly.
name.
It's also like a thing or like
a profession.
You can be a
one
falconer.
who falcons. Professional falcon handler.
Yeah, I knew a kid in high school who was a falconer.
You knew a falconer? What
yeah,
the fuck?
and I told him that there's a band called Falconer, and he's like, I don't care, and I'm like, fuck.
But he's a falconer. That's badass.
I know.
Did you ever see him falcon?
I did not.
I want to see someone falcon. Like, I really want to do it myself because their talons seem really sharp and terrifying, and
you get like the glove
and I
thing.
value my eyeballs greatly. Like, my eyeballs are really important to me. Sup Nerds, welcome to Powerful, a power metal podcast. This is Stella, and I'm here with my friends. Who are you guys? Darko.
Hi.
And Kyle.
Hello.
And we have Dawn.
Hello.
Glad to have you back, Dawn. And I just realized I called Fernando Darko.
Yes.
And this is really hard. And we've also replaced Biscuit with Dawn because we can't find Biscuit. Just kidding. We know where he is. He's just not here.
Do we?
I don't know.
Disappears sometimes.
He's in the desert somewhere. Yeah.
He just moved to Poland.
Yeah. I'm glad to have Dawn back here. As we were discussing in our pre-intro Polish Tank. I don't know if you're going to include Polish Tank.
No, I think we should save that as a surprise.
Okay, that'll be a surprise.
See.
Yeah, glad to have Don back here. I think the last episode he was on was when we reviewed
Zero Gravity.
Yeah, Zero Gravity and War of the Wars or whatever that one was called.
So it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. But
yeah, glad to be back.
Yeah. But today is International Women's Day. Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
So
how does that make you feel?
It makes
being
me
the
feel
leader of a power metal podcast.
Am I really the leader? I feel like I'm just a team member in the power metal podcast, but
aw, that's so nice of you, leader.
We are a team. We work collaboratively. But either way, shout outs to all the women who are part of the power metal music community, all the women who listen to power metal. You guys are awesome. Keep it up. Support our podcast. Also, I'm really kind of stoked to see that our podcast engagement on Instagram was like a substantial percentage. It's a substantial percentage female, which is cool. And first off, how does Instagram know whether you're male or female? I don't remember telling them.
Your Facebook, probably.
Yeah, your Facebook. Oh. If you say it in your Facebook, they take it from there.
Oh, shit.
And, not to be a downer, but one time I looked at our YouTube stats, and it was 100% male.
Oh, God.
It's like 100% male, 100% between 25 and 34 years old. Like only one solid bar there. Everyone is
the same person.
The same stereotypical metalhead.
Yep.
Come on.
I'm looking at it right now. Last 28 days, 100% male, 60% 25 to 34, 40% 18 to 24. So young guys like power metal on the internet.
I know for a fact that we have female listeners because we met them IRL. And they are on the internet and they subscribe to our Patreon and they're awesome. And I think most of our people are on Facebook and Instagram and like actual podcast apps because I don't think anyone's going to leave a YouTube video open for like 2 hours because we can't seem to
tell that to the dozens of people that follow our YouTube channel.
Dozens. Yeah. I think we are only on YouTube just in case, just to cover our platforms, but we're mostly on actual podcast apps. And I think I can logically transition to our plugs real quick. So if you want to find all of our other material, we are on powerful-podcast.com. We're on Facebook at Powerful Podcast, Instagram, Twitter at PowerfulPM, and you can always email us at contact@powerful-podcast.com. We like to read your messages. And of course, if you enjoy the show, support us on Patreon at Powerful Podcast. Aside from International Women's Day, today is also time change day for the US, I think, right?
It
time,
is,
yeah.
What is time? We
lost an hour of sleep. That's what it is.
We lost an hour of sleep, and that sucks. But since we are transcending space and time and recording across 3 different time zones right now, this time change actually kind of helps for that.
It puts us an hour closer,
because we are an international bunch.
Yeah, given that we are all eastwards from you, you get closer to us by 1 hour.
Okay, so this is one positive of the time change.
Yeah.
Net positive, yeah.
You should just be on this time zone forever.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah,
This is the fake time zone, though.
Is this?
Yeah, it is.
The
I know,
fake one?
but it's more convenient for me. This is the fake one.
Okay, the fake time zone is more convenient for Fernando, so the world should just, leave it like this.
And you should know that where I am, we are actually in the wrong time zone on purpose to be closer to the US. So we should
it's more
meet
convenient.
halfway there.
Yeah, I know. All of this is made up anyway, so we should just pick one that is convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the planet doesn't give a shit. It's just like flying through space at like 1,000,000 miles per hour, kilometers, your unit of preference.
You know what also flies around and kills things?
No, Kyle. What flies around and kills things?
Falcons and
Oh
birds
my
of
God,
prey,
I'm
like such as.
I can't
And
do this.
you know what relevance falcons have to power metal?
Tell me, what relevance do falcons have to power metal?
Well, there's a Swedish powerish folkish metal band called Falconer who is actually alive.
Oh,
We questioned it at the top of the year, and they brought it back in February. They confirmed that they are actually making a new album via a press release from Metal Blade Records, which reads, Falconer heads into the studio to record new album. Longtime running Swedish folk metal pioneers Falconer will head back into the studio in February to record a new full-length album. Album is untitled, but will have a total of 13 songs, including bonus tracks. Expect folkish power metal with a velvet voice to crown it.
Velvet
Oh, boy.
voiced. Oh my God. I'm like cringing a little at that description, but I kind of get what he means.
It's totally right.
Yeah, this is true.
Release date hasn't been set, but expect a new Falconer album in the second half of 2020. And they've been posting updates from the studio. They're listening to the final mix. So it's happening. It's been 6 years, but it's happening.
Okay, well, Falconer fans get excited. I believe Falconer's a studio-only band nowadays, isn't that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what do we know about this new album other than that there's a 9-second video on YouTube that is not very
Well,
informative?
I'm glad you asked, because main man / guitarist Stefan Wienerhall? Okay.
Okay.
That's his name.
Good enough.
Okay. This time around, we have a few instrument surprises as a treat. Something that has been a wish for a long time finally happening. So I guess they'll have new instruments.
New instruments?
So it's folk, so you can do all kinds of weird shit with it.
Oh, I see. Oh, I was going to say, did you get a new guitar? And is this supposed to be exciting? Because I'm sure that's very exciting to you. But for us, we kind of like expected you to have a guitar.
Well, if they have like a hurdy-gurdy or some shit, then maybe that's what they're referring to.
Maybe they have one of the like 2 hurdy-gurdy metal players in the known universe.
Hey, I can think of
2
Exactly 2.
Yeah, I can figure out
Oh, no, 3.
2, yeah.
I can think of 3.
3? There's 3?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's Elevated Girl, there's Cellar Darling Girl, and there's the Patty Girl.
Patty Girl.
That's 3.
Oh, okay.
That's 3.
All right, well, it's going to be one of them if it's going to be a hurdy-gurdy.
This is fake news. Falconer, do they have hurdy-gurdy? Who knows? We're making it up.
Oh, maybe they'll have that instrument that like manipulates magnetic waves, and you play it by like waving your hand around.
The theremin.
Yeah, the theremin. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that would be great. That's the opposite of folk.
It is the opposite of folk.
It's sci-fi, full sci-fi.
Industrial folk.
But he said we have what did he say? Like new instruments.
He said instrument surprises.
Okay, well, I want to see a theremin. Oh my god!
What
I'm
instruments
dying.
do you
What
want to see on
instruments
the
do you
new
wanna see?
Falconer
Tell
album?
us.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Wow, you're very good at YouTube or like the gram or whatever the fuck.
It's called engagement.
Oh, okay, excuse me. All right, this is from the
Call to
asshole who
action.
like asked what Fortnite was the last episode. Thank you for explaining that to me.
Yeah, I'm in touch with the happenings of the world.
Yeah, it's good to have you in touch with the happenings of the world while I'm like living in the ancient times. I'm like learning how to compost and like not using social media and
Would you say that you're waywardly broken?
yeah, I'm definitely waywardly broken. How does Roy Khan know my life story?
That's the power of Jesus or something. But
yeah.
anyway, prog metal band Conception is coming back with a new album, and they have a new single called "Waywardly Broken." It has Roy Khan of former Camelot fame on it. What do you guys think about this single from Conception?
I think it's edgy,
Yes.
as always, probably. But I think it's their best since, like, Grand Again, I think was their latest single. It's pretty good.
I liked it better than the new album, yeah.
It's also, like, kind of repetitive, I think.
Not very progressive, I think. It's pretty straightforward, but I guess maybe it's just a single, so it's okay. If you like Roy Khan performances, he does his, crooning, dark, vibrato thing a lot.
I'm just happy he's making music.
I'm honestly not really into Conception, but
They're a very weird prog band. I don't know what to think about them.
yeah,
I don't know if they're weird, but
I don't think they're that
I'm
weird.
not
I think
sure.
they're not weird enough. Like, it doesn't sound that prog to me. It just sounds like Roy Khan singing over chuggy guitars, and like it's cool. I'm just not that into it. Maybe my ears are waywardly broken.
Maybe you just gotta read the lyrics in this lyric video of Oceans, and you'll understand the dark edginess.
Okay, I just gotta get darker and edgier, I guess.
we need trench coats.
Oh,
we need
yeah.
trench coats
I
and,
need trench
and
coats.
sunglasses inside and at night.
Was this
Then
the
I
Matrix?
can't see.
Is it 1999 again?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
the Matrix again. Oh man.
They're doing the Matrix 4. Did you know?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I knew
The
this at some point and I forgot.
Yeah, they're making it with everyone. Now everyone is old, but they still wear trench coats and sunglasses.
Of course. I rewatched The Matrix 1 to 3 not too long ago. It still holds up.
Oh, nice.
Good series.
Nice. Can we say the same about Nightwish? Do they
Nightwish.
hold up?
Yeah, we're on the same theme of like technology bad, nature good, I guess. And I'm talking about the Nightwish single Noise.
Yeah, the first single from Human Nature.
Yeah, this album is called what is it? Like 2 lines and a
It's-
colon.
It's
Human colon nature.
Where the 2 lines? Are the 2 lines like around the words?
No, they're
They're
in
like
the middle.
pipes.
They're
Oh,
the
they're
two
in the
pipes
middle.
that separate the words.
It's a
Yeah, it's
logical
weird.
or,
Is it?
isn't it?
I don't know. Use it.
In like programming. The colons aren't. No, that would give you a syntax error. But regardless.
Like, colon, pipe, colon. Like, I don't know what languages you use.
You
but
know, I think
it's like-
we should just call it that. We'll just call it human colon pipe colon nature. whenever this album drops and we review it. But
I think it's April 10th. So next episode.
okay, we'll review
Oh,
it next
hype for that
episode. What are your first impressions based off of the single Noise?
Well, I think the single itself is solid. I think I like it better than most stuff on Endless Forms Most Beautiful. You can actually hear Floor singing on it.
That would be
especially
nice.
in like the more like exciting part in the middle.
I think I had heard the Game of Thrones theme song too many times already, so I don't need it again.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
And I think they rip off it in both songs. I think at the end of Harvest, there's some Game of Thrones thingy.
The
Just weird.
Yeah.
I think the chorus of Noise sounds too much like the Greatest Show on Earth Part 3.
I don't even remember how that sounds.
Yeah, me neither.
Kinda.
I don't know the words.
We've been
Yeah.
a little bit.
Whatever that is. But aside from that, it's kind of growing on
I
me.
feel like this song is almost more interesting to analyze because of its weird ass music video, which maybe we'll talk more about in the mythical music video episode.
It's coming this year.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Is it? We've been talking about it since literally the start of the podcast.
It's gonna come this year.
We'll get to it. We've just got so much to talk about that it keeps getting pushed. And then all these like people keep contacting us for interviews. Damn you people putting off our music video episode. Just kidding. We love all our guests.
Yeah, like the first time I went to Phoenix and like was at the bar with Andrew, we were talking about like podcast ideas. And this was really early on, and that was one of the ideas.
The music video episode?
It's
yeah.
been on the list for a long time.
We were talking about
Yeah.
it since like every year some asshole posts on the subreddit the Reign of 1,000 Flames music video.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it happens really, really frequently.
It happens so frequently. Is there a Power of the Dragonflame music video?
There is.
Yeah, because my husband mentioned it and he was like, oh my god, this video is sick. And I was like, I've never seen it.
There's a ton of 90s Rhapsody music videos. They're amazing.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll get to it on our music videos
early
episode, which
2000s.
will exist.
But anyway, they also released Harvest, which I think was an interesting second single because it's like a ballad, basically.
It's like a peaceful folk ballad. It's a Troy song.
Yeah, you get to hear Troy singing on it with a little bit of floor towards the end as well. It starts off really chill and folksy, and then it gets a bit more metal-y with like bagpipes and shit. I dig it. I really like this. It's not a normal Nightwish song, at least for the first half, but they usually throw like a little bit of folk stuff in there these days.
Yeah, I think Nightwish has been trending folksy since like, what is that album called? The Poet and the Pendulum one.
Dark Passion Play?
Dark Passion Play. You know what I mean.
And they can actually do folky stuff live now with this guy.
Yeah, so I think it's a
leaning
good.
into it makes sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't like this, or like they were just caught off guard, or they wanted something like with huge orchestra and like Floor doing epic shit. Yeah, and that. But instead, they got like a peaceful like Troy song. But I think if Nightwish is trending the way they kind of were, like it's gonna be a wide variety of styles on human pipe nature, and we have that to look forward to.
All right, so that's Falconer, that's Nightwish and Conception doing some interesting stuff.
Yeah. But our main topic of the day, we wanted to discuss long songs. Epic, long power metal songs.
Big, epic, long songs.
The hugest
fucking
of
30
songs.
minutes long.
And they seem to be so common in power and prog metal.
Yeah, like I was really surprised, honestly, because many of our listeners might be familiar. Maybe I assume like I thought this myself at one point in my life. Dragon Force has a really long song, called Soldiers of the Wasteland.
It's the longest song ever written.
It's like the longest power metal song ever.
Yeah.
At one point, it was like, yeah, definitely. Like, it's like almost 10 minutes long. Like, how much longer can you go going that fast?
This is the pinnacle of music.
So
This joke is so bad.
Yeah. So, we have taken this as the threshold for our list of long power and prog power songs.
Yeah, so we took this inside joke of Soldiers of the Wasteland being the longest song ever written, and we used it as an arbitrary bass
Very
line.
arbitrary.
Yeah, it's a 9 minutes and 47 seconds. Any song that's longer than Soldiers of the Wasteland is fucking long.
Yeah, we consider it long. It's not a long song if it's not at least 9 minutes and 47 minutes long. That's the deal. 9 minutes and 47 seconds, right?
Yeah. So let's get into Soldiers of the Wasteland a little bit. As our baseline for a long epic song. So what makes this song work as a long song? Because when I listen to this song, it doesn't feel 9 minutes and 47 seconds long.
Definitely not at all. It doesn't feel long.
Yeah.
Its length is the right amount. It's as long as it's supposed to. It doesn't bore you.
It's a well-written song.
It's not rushed. And you have many sections. You have parts that repeat, but it's kept fresh. You have the intro, that's the chorus, but it's all only vocals only. And then you go into a slow build up.
Yeah, I think this is such a good example. It has all the components of a long song. Like the intro has the chorus, but it's a cappella. And then they kind of I think an important part about long songs is that whenever you go back to the verse or the chorus, it's a little bit different each time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to have that progression, but also having a strong chorus that sort of keeps the song grounded. It's almost like your thesis, right? You're doing this big fucking, multi-page essay, if you want to call it. And you need to have that little thing that you can always come back to as you're doing all these weird sections throughout your excessively long song.
You're trying not to lose your plot here. And even if your plot is just we are fighting, are coming back home after fighting or whatever, just having that strong message, this is our core thing. Then we have all the movement. We have a small story, maybe a quest, something that moves forward that makes it worth listening to 3 more minutes of a new section to then come back to maybe a recontextualized section that we're repeating from before, like a strong chorus. And Soldiers of the Wasteland is a really good song.
Wow, we have such a high baseline.
Yeah, it does an interesting thing where a lot of long songs, at least the good ones, will usually have some weird, like experimental section, usually in the middle, where in this case, I think Soldier of the Wasteland does like the da na bam 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 na, and it repeats that while progressing it like every time for like a minute or two or so.
Introducing new elements. It's really well done.
That middle-ish part, I feel like maybe loops just a little too much. So you maybe could have made the song like, I don't know, 9:15 instead of 9:45. But it does keep your interest as you move through it, which I think is the biggest struggle that these big epic songs that metal bands love to do. It's a huge like pitfall they can run into of, well, we got to go big, we got to have this 15-minute long fucking song, but how do you keep a listener's interest for that long without sounding like it's dragging on, but also not being too repetitive, but also not being too weird?
Yeah, let's chat about that's a really good point. So Blind Guardian obviously have, and then there was Silence, which clocks in at 14 minutes and 7 seconds.
Yeah, this is my like gold standard of a long metal song, because I'm a Blind Guardian fanboy, sure, but it really hits every point of tons of interesting sections that are always changing, always progressing, different levels of like intensity, different emotions you're going through as it's telling the story. It only says the name of the song once, and it's like 4 minutes in.
Yeah.
But the chorus itself is really long.
Yeah, actually,
but also really exciting.
I think my favorite part about the chorus of "And Then There Was Silence" is that the song really makes you wait for it.
Well, yeah, the first chorus is like 5 minutes in. The first chorus is 5 minutes
in, and it doesn't repeat. It repeats like once, and it doesn't repeat again until like way at the end. Like the misty tales and poets lost. Like
all the bliss and music will be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no Hansi, but
it's so satisfying when you do come back to that chorus.
It needs to be this big dramatic thing, so that because the chorus itself is pretty slow and long, but it's bombastic.
Yeah.
So it's like, Dude,
If they
every
just
time you hit
if
it.
they just came back to it every fucking 2 minutes and a half, it wouldn't have the same effect.
It's like a big reward,
Yeah.
a big payoff to a
Exactly.
strong build-up.
It's like, oh, give me another hit of that.
Give me another hit of that chorus. So what do you guys think made And Then There Was Silence work really well, but Grand Parade on Beyond the Red Mirror kind of missed?
Grand Parade doesn't have the same level of like, I don't know, dramatic tension to it.
I like that
think.
word, tension.
Like Grand Parade is a cool song, but it doesn't really have the climaxes and the ebbs and flows that And Then There Was Silence does. Like the most exciting part of Grand Parade is like 80-90% of the way in when they do like the we take control part. I don't want to even attempt to sing it.
Don't hurt yourself.
But it's very minimal the amount of time it lets you have that high, as we've been, making the metaphor for. I think that's a big part of it. I mean, you could argue it's because the story doesn't make any fucking sense.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too.
I've tried to figure it out. I can't. Like I get that, which is another point. Is like these long songs usually tell a story of some kind. Like, And Then There Was Silence is the story of like the Trojan War told from Cassandra, like the prophet who like saw that Troy was going to lose. So it has this like thematic point to it, and you can like explore that story both like from a musical standpoint and a regular like narrative standpoint.
Yeah. Do you think that it's sort of necessary to have an epic story to go along with your long song, or can we think of any examples of long songs that are just like a song?
Well, I mean, there's instrumental long songs.
That's
Deep down on our list, we
for
have
sure.
Dim Hop's Boreal Ascent. The folk metal band Equilibrium has like a 16-minute long instrumental song called Mana, which I never get tired of listening to that song just because it does all the things we've talked about, just without words, just musically.
Yeah, that's a really good point too.
So even if you're not telling a literal story, you can still tell a musical journey of sorts.
Maybe you are. I think you can also tell a story very clearly without words, just with music.
Yeah, and there's a lot of just like generic fantasy quest type of long songs too.
Yeah.
Like we put
Soldiers of the Wasteland.
Soldiers of the Wasteland. Hell
Soldiers
yeah.
of the Wasteland. It's
Why
just
did-
like
I-
general
brain fart.
battle.
Nonsense.
No, I would say Soldiers of the Wasteland, out of this whole list that we have, is the one that is the less concerned about having an explicit story, because it's just like the generic concept of, okay, like the chorus just sums it up: the burning fires, burning lights on the long distant roads, for the lost mountains endless, so far away from home. So it's just soldiers that went, fought, and have just missed their home, and that's all. That's the whole point of the lyrics.
It's very relatable. It hits all your emotions.
And it hits all the power metal cliches,
Yeah.
which I love.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of stories that may or may not make sense, Avantasia, Tobias Sammet's
Oh, yeah.
Avantasia.
Tobias Sammet's a fucking master at the long song.
Yeah, and he's
He
not
likes
shy
his
to
long songs.
open an album with a long song. I mean, the first Avantasia album, the metal opera, had
The tower's at the end of that album.
the towers at the end, but metal opera part 2
Seven
opened
Angels
with
at
Part
the
Seven
beginning.
Angels.
opens with Seven Angels.
Yeah.
Also, Ravenchild was the first single we got to hear from their latest, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
the like second or fourth song. It's the fourth song on the album. So Let the Storm Descend Upon You from Ghost Lights is, I think, the second song. So he just goes balls to the wall. Most people will put the long song at the end as like a climax, or just as a, you can listen to all the other bullshit first and then get to this, faffing about thing.
Yeah, I feel like Toby is
doesn't care.
very aware that people love his long songs, and he's not shy to play it in the Avantasia shows. And he often has multiple vocalists play different characters. So do you guys think that kind of enhances the effect of
It
like
definitely
a
does.
plot? Because
The whole Avantasia multiple vocalist things definitely helps with the variety aspect. And I mean, Avantasia stories don't make much fucking sense.
no,
to
they
me.
don't. Like, I don't know.
I think you have to have I think you have to have the booklet because there are some additional things in there to understand the story, but I'm not sure about that. And
I
even
can see
probably even if you have it, it wouldn't make any sense. It's sam.
Yeah, I have the Mystery of Time and Ghost Lights, and actually the Moon Glow books. And there are lyrics I can read.
The lyrics that exist.
They are lyrics. They exist. The characters have names. Do I know what's going on? Not really, but I still enjoy the songs.
Yeah, I still really enjoy these songs. The lyrics, I have no idea. They just go through. I just parse the musical information and nothing else.
Sometimes they stick in your head and you can sing them at live shows, but I have no idea what he's talking about.
They sound nice.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
It establishes like an atmosphere and like a mood for the music.
Yeah.
If you don't totally get it.
Yeah. I think in these songs, these Avantasia songs, we have here, like we mentioned, the Scarecrow, Let the Storm Descend Upon You, the Raven Child, and the Seven Angels, because the tower is slightly shorter there than our threshold.
Tower misses the threshold by 4 seconds. Jesus.
Yep. I knew there was a reason why I hadn't listened to it. So they all are very solid in the way that they utilize like different voices to represent different characters and to create the sense that there's a story that's moving forward, that it's worth checking out, like what happened before or what will happen later, depending on the song. There's a strong sense of progression, even if there are clear musical sections that are repeated. It's still always like moving forward in some way, and that's really cool of these songs.
Yeah,
I think the Seven Angels is a good version of this because it's a huge song, goes all over the place. But it, like we mentioned before, it has like that big chorus, the "We Are the Seven, Judgment of Heaven." I mean, they close their fucking shows with that chorus.
They do.
Instead of doing the whole song.
And in the song itself, just like Blind Guardians, and then there was silence. They really make you wait for that chorus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because these songs don't follow our usual structure in Western popular music of, we have the intro, this verse, the verse again, then the chorus, the verse, the chorus, maybe an alternate section, and then go back to the chorus twice or something like that. Like, we're very used to that. But when you listen to these songs, walk into this, let's make it longer territory, they are not approaching it like that. Like, we're going to do these sections and repeat them and see how they interact with each other. Let's just go forward all the time and maybe use something to anchor ourselves, but always trying to be moving forward and see what's next in the road.
Yeah, I like it when they can surprise you. Like Seven Angels again has a section towards the end where Kai Hansen's vocals come in, which is totally different than anything else on that song. Just because no one else really sounds like Kai Hansen on Avantasia. I always love that part.
Oh, is that the one with the madman came along with the silver long beard? It was the first
I think that's a different song on the album.
Oh,
yeah.
That's Seven Angels, isn't it?
Isn't that the other one with Kai Hansen? Because he plays a dwarf in those first two albums.
He plays a dwarf.
I think it's Seven Angels.
It's Seven Angels. The song is that long that you thought it was 2 songs.
It's official.
Yeah,
this happens also. The song is that long.
The song is that long. It's still the same song.
Is Seven Angels on our playlist? Let me scroll.
Yeah, it is.
It's on. Yeah. So I think when we were kind of doing research for this song, I dug up like a playlist that I made in like 2013, 2014. It was a flashback into the past. It was just called Really Long Songs. And it was fun to kind of like look at this list of this obnoxiously long list of songs.
Oh, I think we have our own version.
And then you have
our notes here.
We started to make a compilation of this, which we will have linked in the show notes, so you can play this at work. I have 41 songs, and it's
9.5 hours long.
Yeah, it's a work day with some extra in case you have overtime. Yeah, so
I think the idea of like repetition and how you use it in a long song is interesting. The best example will probably be Theocracy's I Am, because it's 11 minutes long and literally all of the lyrics start with I am. So even though that part is repetitive, the music and even just like the ideas conveyed within those lyrics do evolve over time.
I feel like this reads like a poem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that Theocracy has, not only in I Am, but also in their other long songs, because they have multiple, is that of all the songs that we have found, these are the ones where it's like 90% lyrics.
Yeah, I was thinking
all the time,
as I was
the most
listening to
verbose
this.
ones.
Yeah, Matt is a hell of a rapper.
Yeah.
Like his pronunciation is so clear.
Definitely. And in this case,
And he talks so fast.
Yeah, and in this case, you really get caught by the lyrics. For example, I Am has great beats. There are many phrases that just stuck with you. Winter Fever, their Christmas song about Santa's son wanting to go out with Frosty's daughter, is just an amazing piece of music with a super compelling story.
With the silliest
with
of lyrics.
characters.
It was fun to listen to.
Like, it's like, because you think, this is silly, because it's just like just taking the piece on a Christmas and Christmas characters and whatever. So we have Santa and his child, and he just says, hey, I'm gonna go out with Frosty's daughter, and Santa is like completely against it because they are the like the bad people, and they're gonna melt in summer.
And then
whatever.
he attacks them with a hair dryer.
Yeah.
And I never thought a long, epic, progressive metal song would involve hair dryers.
Yeah, but the thing that you get here is like after that. Sorry for the spoilers, but it's like
Spoiler. That's a
gets-
spoiler.
Oh no.
the dude gets real depressed, and it's like, he was finding love, and his family was against that to the point of hatred
Of
and
murder
just
with a
destroying
hairdryer.
of murder. Yeah,
Ah.
They have like a really shrill scream as she dies to
Yeah.
the hair dryer.
yeah, and then there's a lot of in this song. There's a lot of like really setting the stage for what's happening, because then he's in a bar drinking and having a bad time and talking to other people at the bar, and then he goes into a little introspective trip to find the strength to keep on living and doing what's right, and then they pick up and do things, and everything gets better afterwards. But it's like, I think it's a really good song with a really strong subtext.
This gets really deep for a silly song about
Silly Christmas song, yeah.
characters.
Yeah,
Like Theocracy can make a good song probably out of anything. I mean, just the other day they made a song out of a paper towel dryer or something.
Paper towel dryer.
If you saw that one on their Facebook.
No, I did not.
I missed that.
Oh, it's amazing.
But
we will.
please link it in the show notes for
Yeah,
fans
for
of
sure.
paper
Yeah.
towel dryers.
Theocracy then also, I think, steps up because we've mostly been talking about the songs in like that 10 to 15-ish minute range. When you get above 20, you're in the big boys.
Oh yeah.
They got Mirror of Souls at 22 and a half minutes, which that's a long fucking song.
Yeah,
But even when you're listening to it, because Theocracy is so good at telling a story musically and lyrically and doing these different sections and all the progression, everything we've talked about, you do feel its length, but not really in a bad way.
yeah. It's definitely not long. It's
The
as
longer
long
your
as it
song
needs
is,
to
the
be.
bigger risk you're taking.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah,
And this
it's
is
like the 10-minute ones are still like 10 to 15-minute long songs are still sort of reasonable to me as like a longtime power metal fan. It's kind of common, but the 20+ ones, I feel like that can go wrong so easily.
So you've got like Symphony X's The Odyssey, which, okay, 24 minutes. You're gonna have, if you're gonna name a long song anything, Odyssey
The
makes
Odyssey,
sense.
yeah.
That's literally like the definition. What do you guys think about that one? Because I think it's a cool one.
I have one issue with like all their Symphony X albums, because their production is like, it sounds old. I don't know how to explain it, but if you compare it to like Iconoclast, I think all of those old songs would, I don't know, sound a bit crispier maybe. But like that's my only issue, because the song itself is just fantastic. It's It's amazing.
I think some of the like symphonic stuff on it does sound a little cheap or plasticky.
Yeah.
Budget
It would
constraints, maybe.
with more modern production, it would sound even like bigger and epic.
When did that one come out? Let me see.
The Odyssey was 2002.
2002, yeah.
The thing that I would say about the Odyssey is that I wouldn't change that about the Odyssey.
Yeah, I sort of kind of like how the acoustic guitar sounds like it was recorded in like a ship's basement. Do ships have basements?
Sure, why not? And the main thing is that the Odyssey, like, maybe it's just because of our age, but I know there's a lot of people that might feel the same thing listening to it. All the little synthesized orchestral instruments, orchestral bits in this song, they're clearly a synthesizer. They just feel like a PS1 game, like you're questing or Final Fantasy, and it totally feels like that. Maybe. And I was listening to this walking on the street going to run some errands, and it was like suddenly I'm not just walking in the city. I'm on a quest to fill this paperwork, and I'm gonna get there. And suddenly there's this NPC, and oh, okay, this is a more relaxed bit, and I can spend some time here. Now, no, we need to go questing again. Come on, let's go and level up here and there, and it's
that sort of makes your errands sound more, like you're in a game, which is kind of cool.
It does have this jolliness to it of like a late 90s video game. I like that. Yeah,
I quite enjoy that about the Odyssey as well.
And it does feel like you're sailing on a ship on an actual Odyssey.
Oh my god, I love the fake orchestra. You're just like, oh man, this is a boss fight. Let's go, fake orchestra. Get me pumped up for the boss fight.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of fantasy boss fights, Rhapsody always loves to do big songs. They have some really fucking long ones. I think their best known ones is probably Gargoyles, Angels of Darkness.
Yeah, that one is so ridiculous. Oh my god.
Their songs are so fucking insane.
So this song, I love the start of the song. I love the intro. I love the acoustic guitar. I love the riffs that come in. It's just great. And then after I don't know how much, like 4-5 minutes, it's like it dies for me. And then it picks up back again at like 12. And then dies again at 14, and it picks up back again when the riff from the start comes in again, and it's like I would trim like 10 minutes out of this song.
Yeah, like it's important to have a lot of different sections, but I think inevitably some of those sections are going to be misses when you're doing so many things, especially when you're a fucking madman like everyone in Rhapsody.
Yeah. So there's just amazing moments in this song. Amazing moments.
Do you think it's because this Gargoyles, Angels of Darkness, like the chorus is pretty bombastic, but it's mostly the choral section instead of the lead vocalist kind of driving it?
I like that part. There are moments in the song that I don't like because it feels like nothing is happening.
Oh, are you talking about the narration?
Oh, the narration, evidently. That's the bad narration kills me every time.
The narration is so funny.
The narration's hilarious.
Oh god, what is happening? Oh my god.
Like, especially we also put Rhapsody of Fire's Heroes of the Waterfalls Kingdom from Chaos to Eternity on this album, or on this playlist. That one gets even crazier with the fucking like storytelling and voice acting at the end. It's amazing. It's like horrible, but also amazing.
If you are going to do voice acting in your album, try to hire a voice actor.
Don't just get the person with the best English pronunciation on your team. Here are words. Read them.
But it's like, it's that shitty earnestness that makes Rhapsody's fantasy so like adorable.
I think it's adorable. I think I love the shitty voice acting.
Oh.
It's when people try to do shitty fantasy stuff intentionally is when it's not as good.
Yeah.
That's why no one else can
think-
replicate.
I think
Rhapsody
the honesty is what I appreciate in this. And I think after the awkward voice acting, the opera bit after that is absolutely ridiculous. And I love how the lyrics are like shout outs to about legendary tales and the dragon flame inside, and about the symphonies of enchanted lands.
The real power of the dragon
The
flame
real
was
power.
the friends we made along the way.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
That kills me every time.
You know what? I think we missed one song on Lucaturi's Rhapsody of Michael the Archangel and Lucifer's Fall,
Oh,
which is 16 minutes long.
We'll have to add it
fuck,
to
I
the
forgot about that
playlist. Yeah.
There's too many Rhapsodies.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track with everything in different tracks.
And actually, there's a sequel to that song, which is 18 minutes long.
oh yeah.
Luca needs to calm the fuck down.
He did.
Yeah,
he did on Zero Gravity.
Yeah,
calmed
Zero Gravity
the-
didn't really have one.
He calmed the fuck
No,
down
yeah.
a little bit.
Well, he did and he didn't.
He just he just condensed it into it's the same amount of song. It's just shorter and more condensed. There's more going on at the same time.
Right. Let's folded it back in.
Yeah.
I'm looking at what some of the longest songs we have on here. I think the longest one we put is it X Japan?
Yeah.
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 It might be
So
X
Art of
Japan.
Life,
After
half an hour.
all of these, so when we were thinking about making this episode, we saw a couple posts on the subreddit of Power Metal of people asking about long songs and just what's in there. And many people mentioned X Japan's Art of Life, and we like X Japan, so we are including it, even though classifying it as power metal is dubious.
It's not power metal.
Because it's not.
But it's a long song, so we can talk
And it's a
about
long
it.
song, and it's actually the longest song that we've found on a technicism, but it's the longest one.
On a technicality
On a
of the
technicality.
live version is 33
Yeah, and
minutes
also
long.
Yeah, and also the other contender has 4 seconds of silence at the end in Spotify, so I don't count that.
Oh.
What's the next closest? Is it Seventh Wonder?
Seventh Wonder,
It's Seventh Wonder, The Great Escape.
30 minutes and 32 seconds.
Jesus.
Okay. Well, let's talk about X Japan's Art of Life first. It's only a song for the first 15 minutes, really. And then the last 15 minutes is Yoshiki wanking away on the piano.
No, it comes back. No, it goes. It's only 9 minutes of piano.
Only.
Only
Okay.
9 minutes of piano solo.
Okay, yeah. I was exaggerating. It comes back to song.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So Art of Life is an album that consists
is
of
an
only
album.
this track. This track was going to come out on their previous album, Jealousy, and that was going to make that album like come in 2 CDs. And reportedly, Yoshiki wrote this song in 2 weeks, and then it took 3 years to record it and release
fuck?
it. By the time they released it, they changed their name. They were X originally, and they changed to X Japan. And they changed labels, and Yoshiki bought a studio, which is a studio where Metallica recorded their Black Album, by the way. And a whole lot of stuff. They changed bass player. A lot of things happened. And this song, like the title suggests, Art of Life is like a grandiose thing, just a tale of feelings and stuff, and it goes through many flavors of metal and rock and hard rock and classical, and it has an orchestra, and what a great song.
Yeah, and it totally is power metal at some parts. Like I'm listening at like 11 minutes in, and it's just a straight up power metal solo. So sure, we can throw it in.
Yeah, it has some beats. Yeah, it has harmonized guitar solos that go for quite some long time. It has the C-casts, fast drums with continuous double kicks, changes in tempos and time signatures, very cool alternations there. Just the intro, like I think the piano and voice intro in the live version and guitar and voice intro in the studio version is like 4 minutes long, just the intro.
Yeah, it is.
And it doesn't feel long. It's just what it is. It's what it needs to be. And I recommend anyone just sit one day, no screen, put this on, maybe follow along with the lyrics. The lyrics are in English, which is part of why it took so long to record it, because it wasn't coming out easy for Toshi, the vocalist, to sing properly in English. And it's really a trip worth doing.
I think that these really long songs, they'll have these long instrumental like solos, like even Twilight Force's song last year, Blade of Immortal Steel, the guitar solo on that one is like 3 minutes or something, which is the length of some normal songs.
Right. And the thing is that it has to be worth it. So if you actually develop a melodic phrase or a combination of melodic phrases that warrant that length, then yeah, go for it. If you're just repeating a short phrase 75 times, then maybe don't go for it.
Maybe don't do that, because that sounds boring as hell.
But if you can do like Art of Life has in the intro, like the main verses of the intro, it just makes perfect sense at the tempo that it's happening and how long it takes. It doesn't feel long. And then you realize when it switches to the drum, when the drums enter, it's been like 4 or 5 minutes.
I mean, we put Manowar's Achilles, Ecstasy, and Agony in 8 parts in here. And one of those 8 parts is like a several minute long like drum solo.
Yeah.
So people do weird shit with these songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure if that was completely necessary, but okay, Manowar, you do you.
It's Manowar. They're gonna do
Manowar things.
It's interesting, I think, when people split the songs into very explicit sections like that. I'm not sure if I like it as much because I don't think it flows as well. It just feels like it almost could be separate songs.
I think we should move this Manowar song into the bad ones.
Oh yeah,
into the bad ones.
Okay, so
yeah,
the thing with the Manowar song is that I left it here just to mention this. I don't think this is one song. I think this is just cheating. These are 8 songs, and 2 of them are awful.
I like the last one, the Death of Achilles.
Yeah, most of it is really nice, but this is an album. This is an 8-song album. There's nothing in this piece that warrants it having it as one continuous thing. It's just 8 songs, one after the other.
It doesn't have like a central through line the way like some of the other ones we've mentioned.
You're listening through it, and you can tell when one starts and the other begins.
Well, you know what
Very
does
clearly.
actually do the long song thing well? The 30-minute long song, the Seventh Wonder, The Great Escape.
Oh,
so
that's
that
amazing.
one, I really feel like this can only exist as one song.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think this is so beautifully written. And the lyrical theme is actually very strong as well. Like you get real attached to the plot. So The Great Escape is about Aniara, which is a science fiction poem written by Swedish Nobel laureate Harry Martinson. And it is about a passenger spacecraft originally bound for Mars with a cargo of people because the Earth has been destroyed. And then there was an accident, and the people are like just off floating in space, and they slowly go insane.
Yeah, and it kind of goes through like the different sections of the poem as its inspiration, and just like the different types of insanity that these people go through with us, like of despair, and
they need to start fucking each other. And
there's like an orgy at one point. Yeah, it's an excellent, amazing song, and I love that they play at least parts of it live.
Yeah, I don't think they're ever gonna play the full thing live because that would be ridiculous. But this song is like very well worth listening to in its entirety, just because it's you can really, and it's because Tommy sings the lyrics so clearly, and maybe his pronunciation is very good, but I can understand what's happening just from listening to the music and the lyrics. Yeah,
and I think it's worth noting. This song is I would say it's even less power metal than Art of Life.
Yeah, this is definitely not power metal. This is like
prog metal.
Prog.
This is prog. That's why the
It has
playlist.
power metal sections.
Yeah, there are two moments. There are two sections that last for like, I don't know, 8 bars, where the drums are doing constant double kicks and the guitars
Yeah,
are
there's
chaining
like a
along.
little bit of double
So you
kicks,
have
and there's
that.
a little bit of like rhythm guitars, but most of it is just like
Most of it is prog.
weird rhythms and prog.
Yeah, and I would say it's really, really good prog. Like,
Yeah, it's very melodic stuff.
go
and
check it
very
out.
Entertaining.
And the performances on this are great. The vocal performance is great. All the little things that the bass player and the keyboard dude and the guitar dude do.
Yeah, this
it's
band has
great.
always had really strong bass. I believe the main songwriter is the bass player, and they've always had like very strong like keyboard and guitar interplay
Yeah.
as well.
No one is being lazy here. They are
Yeah.
all contributing something, and it's super interesting all the time, and you just want to keep going to see where this is going to take you. And it's really nice. And whenever you have, it's like you said, it's the different kinds of insanity and everything, and you get that with different sections of prog. And then whenever you have the vocal scene, the performance is so good. It really takes you to the different feelings of the different sections very easily, just on the way things are sung.
Yeah, Tommy is good at really emoting with his vocals.
Yeah.
Which I think is part of what makes like Great Escape and Tiara like work as well as it does.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would say that like in Tiara they decided to split their Tiara song into 3 parts and the album as separate tracks. Do you think
Yeah.
they could have just made it one song like this one, or like maybe
No.
it's more effective as 3 separate tracks?
I liked it as the trilogy
No, it's
of
3
separate
songs.
tracks because they're very distinct.
They're very different, yeah. It's 3 very different pieces of music. They are connected, yes, but they are 3 separate entities. They don't.
And they each tell the story from a different point of view, so it makes sense to
Oh yeah,
separate
yeah,
them.
Yeah.
That makes sense that way.
Yeah. They know what they're doing, these guys.
Yeah, they're not dumb. Seventh
They're-
Wonder good. Well, speaking of things that are good, we also have to talk about the things that are not good.
Oh, things
Which
that are not
we-
good. Oh no.
We did highlight a few longer songs that we're not very big of a fan on. So I think the easiest ones to start talking about, or if there's 2 that come to mind. Do you guys want to do Nightwish or Dragon Force
I think we
first?
already talked about Nightwish a whole bunch in the other episode.
A little bit, but we've also got Nightwish on the good side because I like Ghost Love Score a lot. Poet
Okay,
Pendulum
I
is
guess
really good.
we can talk about the long song aspect of Greatest Show on Earth, which was supposed to be their like hugest epic on Endless Forms, clocking in at 24 minutes and 1 second. So was this length justified?
The greatest show on earth. Let's think about this. So it does some of the things that we talk about that are good. You know, it has a big epic chorus, sort of. It has a lot of different sections that it progresses through. So you know, it's got talented musicians and singers on it. You know, maybe it should work, but it doesn't because I think it's very, very repetitive. It trudges along. You can, like we said, you can do weird things. They get too weird with it.
Yeah, I think what bothers me the most about Greatest Show on Earth is that their transitions between the sections are just so clunky. Like when you go from the part 1 where the Earth is just a ball of water with single cellular organisms, Floor is doing opera shenanigans.
Even before that, you just have like this one piano riff repeated for like 3 minutes.
I feel
or some
like that's
shit.
fine. I thought that was atmospheric and fine. I
was a
I am
little
totally
long.
okay with repetition because I like a bunch of I like some repetition, like atmospheric black metal. It sets an atmosphere. Like I get it, the earth is empty, there's nothing. Okay, I get it, bro.
I get it, bro. I want you to walk up to Tuomas, just say, I get it,
The
bro.
earth has nothing on it, okay? But then when things start appearing on the earth, you don't have to like, I don't know. I just feel like this song holds your hand a little too much. It's like the transitions are so like, okay, now we have instruments. This represents multicellular organisms. Okay.
And then at the end, I think the song generally gets stronger as it gets going. Like the first like real chorus is like, I don't know, fucking like 12 minutes in or something, where you have Flora and Marco doing the thing that makes Nightwish so good, but it takes so long to get there, and I don't know if it's worth it at that point. And it just kind of frustrates me.
There's so many of these like long.
There's really good parts in this song.
Yeah, there are. I agree with you.
But it's just too spread out.
Yeah.
There's too much faffing about.
There's so much like orchestra being very quiet and nothing else is happening.
Or it's just like rah, 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 rah. And it's like, okay, guys, let's move up. Let's move along here. And then the last like 5 minutes is just nothing.
Oh, this the spoken word part.
That's the thing they played recorded at the end of the show so that people leave the stadium.
Yeah, because they will like end with this song, and it works live because I think they compress it a little bit, and they do like the "We Were Here" part, and like the crowd sings along with the big conclusion. It's like, okay, that works. But then the whole spend 5 minutes of the album just saying, okay, you can leave the venue now.
That's so underwhelming. No, don't do that, because you're supposed to like make everyone stay, and then everyone cheers, and then you do the synchronized bow. You don't want everyone to just trickle away and go to bed. That's so sad.
Yeah, because like you hear the big like I need to like get a graphical representation of the song, of like, where's the actual music parts?
Yeah.
Where's Richard Dawkins? Where's vocals? Where's symphony?
a bunch of nothing, and like just the tuba, the fake tuba going on in the orchestra. Did they use real orchestra for this?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
the
like,
real
I
tuba.
assume they did. They have the money for that. But like the actual music ends like 16 minutes into this 24-minute song. The last 8 fucking minutes is like nature sounds, narration, just kind of general bullshittery.
This is the reason why some people don't like long songs, because of the general bullshittery and the filler. This is what Seventh Wonder's Great Escape didn't have. It didn't have filler. Every part was intentional and meaningful. I do not care about the animal fucking noises. I'm not sure I want 16 bars of a tuba just going brrr.
Yeah, like
I get
Show
it.
on Earth.
Transition, like organisms are changing. Okay.
The song could have been like 10 minutes and it would have been pretty good, I think.
Yeah, but a 10-minute song doesn't look as cool as 20 on a track list.
So what is Human Nature with its like 20 or 30-minute song gonna be?
I don't know. We'll find out.
A full
it's a
CD.
full
extra CD.
CD2 is a song.
Oh my god. I can't wait.
I'm so excited for Human : pipe : nature. With all caps, and the U's are actually V's because true metal, except not because it's Nightwish. That's a lot of caveats.
Yeah, a lot of caveats.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So another bad one that we love to bitch about is Dragon Force's The Edge of the World.
The Edge of the World does what we mentioned before. Like we said, oh yeah, Seventh Wonder, when they did Ciara, they made 3 distinct songs, and it makes sense. They are 3 different entities. They are like the same. They're a trilogy of the same topic, whatever. But it's 3 distinct songs. And Dragon Force took 3 half-written songs and just put one after the other and called it a long song called The Edge of the World.
Yeah, like there's a lot of experimental things that bands will do with these long songs. Like Edge of the World has like a blast beaty, like black metal-y part, but you run the risk of it sounding like you don't know what you're doing. You're just throwing everything at the wall and hoping something sticks.
Yeah,
which I think is kind of what happened with Edge of the World.
Yeah.
What's interesting, I think that's kind of like what happened with Gloryhammer's Fires of Ancient Cosmic Destiny, because Chris, I think, said it was like different song ideas he had and he just kind of put them together. But I feel like that song works because all those sections are good and they can really
and they flow into each other.
They flow into each other. Yeah.
When you hear the final product, you hear one piece of music, even if it has 7 distinct sections or whatever. It is one consistent piece of music that makes sense to listen from the start to the end. While The Edge of the World, it just feels like a bunch of different sections taken from different moments and just played one after the other, like you were in shuffle mode.
Yeah, and then it feels like it's trudging along. You're just going bam, bah, like for a long time.
Yeah.
Like you're just drawing everything out to squeeze as much as you can. Like I was listening through our long song playlist a few days ago, and a lot of the bad ones are kind of grouped together, which makes it like the most frustrating like hour worth of music you're going to listen to, because the whole time you're just like, dude, I'm still listening to this thing. Oh my God, why isn't it over?
Yeah, so the ones we just discussed, The Greatest Show on Earth and Edge of the World, had similar types of problems where you just feel like you're mashing songs together with like pointless transitions. The other one that I kind of wanted to touch on is Lost Horizons, Highlander, The One.
This is an interesting one.
I'm so like fascinated by this song. It has by far
it's a fascinating song.
It has the most views out of any Lost Horizon songs.
Yeah, but we know why.
I think
because of the meme.
It's not
I think
because
it's
of the song.
awful. We need to like break down why this song is awful.
Okay,
I'll say it's by
it.
far their most overrated song.
Yeah.
Because of the meme. It's not one of their best. And I say as a big fan of Lost Horizon.
I love Lost Horizon as well, but this song is like, why though?
This song has the crime, the sing of the long song, where it's like, I'm pretty sure that the guys, when they were writing it and playing it and jamming to it, they were thinking about, oh, yeah, I'm doing this thing and this is feeling so epic and I'm thinking of my story, whatever. But we're not playing with you. We're bored.
It's literally the same tempo the entire time. And then we have the singer going, ah, every once in a while. Sorry for
I love
the editor.
it when Daniel Hyman goes, ah.
Yeah, so this song could be condensed to like 5 minutes or maybe 4 minutes, and it'd be a perfectly good song, perfectly nice. I would listen to it more. And there's a lot of sections in this song that are really interesting, but they are few and far between. You have to wait. And I feel like I always felt like I was waiting for big chunks of time in this song for the things to happen.
End. Nothing is happening. Nothing happens. It's just.
I think there's more stuff happening towards the end, I would say, because they have like the chanting part, the big whoa part, and then there's like a cool guitar solo at the end.
Yeah, there's also like a hard rock section before that, in the middle there, buried somewhere, that it's cool also. And you could really trim the fat out of this song and make a good one. But like this, it's like killing my interest.
Yeah, you know what? I disagree.
I want to hear what Don has to say.
Yeah, Don, I want to hear your take.
You have to suffer through the slow parts to enjoy the amazing vocal performance by Daniel Heyman. You don't get it for free. You have to wait for it. You have to suffer.
That's an awful defense.
Yeah, like this is a very nostalgic song for me because I listened to it a lot as a teenager. Like I can see its faults of just kind of like going a lot.
It's just like
and then it makes you wait.
It makes you wait at the end for the.
like there's like even the chorus of the song like isn't that great musically.
No,
but
it's
I just
awful.
love listening to Daniel Hyman shout.
It's a man grabbing his balls as hard as he can and squealing very loudly because this is power metal and that is what you do.
Like this is like my favorite like good bad long song.
It's like comically bad. It's like The Room.
I would.
It's not that bad.
It's not that
comically bad.
I think that we can trim it down and make a decent song that would fit with all the other songs in this album.
For God's sake, it opens with like, ah!
Yeah, it just has a random like eagle screech at the start just to wake you up. Like, whoa, what the fuck?
Whoa. That should be my alarm in the morning. I'll be so startled.
Actually, legit, no joke. There was one summer where I used the intro of Think Not Forever as my alarm. And that is an amazing way to wake up, let me tell you. Because it's just like a big, like,
oh my gosh,
Daniel Hyman screaming at you with a guitar riff.
Yeah, I feel like that scream is a lot better than, ah!
It is, yeah.
And I would contrast this song with Dim Hub's Boreal Ascent. That in some level it's the same. You are waiting for the vocalist to come in and do something, for Heyman to show up, and he does the
doesn't
thing
show
at
up
the
for
end.
like 9 minutes in. And
Yeah,
that's like,
exactly.
It's like they forgot about him.
But in Boreal Ascent, all those 9 minutes are interesting and great. Something is happening all the time.
right.
While in Highlander, it's like they're doing nothing. Nothing is going on.
For 9 minutes.
It's not even elevator music.
You know what? I think it works better if you like analyze the lyrics because they're like teasing this great thing that's coming, and if you wait like 8 minutes or
You
something,
don't need to,
it's
you
fine.
don't need to wait 8
It'll come.
minutes. You
Good
can do
things-
that. You can do
good
that.
things are
Don.
worth the
Don
wait.
needs a lot of foreplay. It's fine.
I mean, that's okay, but it's too much. Yeah, it's too much.
No, I agree, but
You can
For
trim it down.
nostalgic rela-
I would trim it down.
Yeah.
We should take this song and edit it and trim out the fat, and then we can enjoy it.
Maybe this is
That-
Lost
that's-
Horizons aesthetic. Like, survive through how bad it is until
but
it becomes
I
good.
think this is the only song that's like this. So
challenge.
This is
They
true.
have a lot
I'm
of other
kidding. I actually
long-ish
really love
songs.
Lost Horizon. I just love shitting on this track
yeah, it's this track, the one that sticks out like this.
as like exceptionally bad. Oh my god, Awakening to World is one of my favorites.
yeah, like Kingdom of My Will is amazing.
Yeah, it's so motivating.
Cry for Restless Soul, like, are amazing songs.
hmm
And those are like 8 minutes ish. They just tried something different with this one. It works in parts and it doesn't work in others.
There was an attempt.
There was an attempt.
I think it's still better than any of the other we have on the bad ones list.
On the bad list, it's definitely my favorite.
Oh,
What else do we have on the
more,
bad list? We
more
have
bad lists. So much fun.
So
Helium Prime's Terror of the Cybernetic Space Monster.
yeah, and in this song, I'm not sure the problems are on it being long. It's just
boring.
not great. I don't think it has any of the particular things that we mentioned. Like, I don't think there's a lot of bloat or filler. It's just that the sections maybe aren't up there. What do you guys think?
It's weird because it's telling a story. It has different vocalists, kind of things we've mentioned for other good songs, but none of it. The vocalists don't seem to fit. Was one of the biggest things that stood out to me about this song, because it has like Britney Slays and someone else on it, but I feel like the vocals and the music don't match up, and the story I don't think really comes through as well as it should in the music. Like 17 minutes, that's a big boy of a song. This song is like a third of the album. An album that I generally like, but it really poops out at the end here.
This I don't think this is a length problem. I think
Yeah,
this is a song problem.
Yeah, that's my thought too. Like, listening to it again in this context, it's like, yeah, it's not the problem that it's long. At least not. I didn't find a clear fault in that. It's more like the content is just not there for me.
Oh, you know what? We forgot something news related.
Oh,
That new band that features Michael Sazos and
Oh, right.
Jason, right?
Jason
Jason.
Ashcraft and Sosos Michael, because Sosos
Yes,
is his name
it's
and
called-
Michael is his last name. And they are making a new, do we call it a band? A new project?
It's a
Magic
project,
the
I guess.
Gathering
Project.
musical
We can call
magic
it project.
metal project.
Yeah,
It's
based
called
on magic.
Planeswalkers. I think.
Planeswalkers.
It's about
yeah.
Is
magic.
that word copyrighted? Can I get away with that?
I don't know.
They-
I think
Tanagra
it's
has
music,
a
so
song
we can-
about planeswalkers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good song.
I think you can use it.
Sure.
I'm not sure if Planeswalker is copyrighted or not, but I don't know. I don't want to shit on this song too much, but I think it's because we're on the topic of long songs, and the issue with this song is not that it's a long song, but yeah, I'm excited to hear what Jason and Sozos coming back together would bring.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Ancient Bards? I didn't think about this song before, but The Great Divide, the final song of the Ancient Bards' latest album. It's really long. It's 14 minutes 47, and it's really good.
I mean, everything on that album is good. I think they have other long songs on pretty much every album. I think that's the longest they've done at 14 minutes. But it's very epic and bombastic, lots of choiry bullshit, which makes it feel like that epic conclusion to this. Well, it's more of a beginning than a end of the story.
To the prequel. But it's really good. It has a lot of cool sections that flow well into each other. It has this full-on operatic moment that at one point I think I recognized, like, yeah, this is like some opera that exists, but that's okay. And it's orchestral, bombastic, so it's like Rhapsody, but this one, I felt like all the way through I was completely 100% engaged.
Yeah, that's how I feel about similar length as Galnerius' Angel of Salvation, also at that 14-minute mark, where it has different sections, but I like how it opens with like the classical music. You bring it back in with the crazy guitars. The chorus I think is what really grounds that song. It kind of falls into that subcategory, if we wanted to mention that. Plus crazy guitar solos because it's Galnerius.
Yeah, I think these two have something in common in that they're about 14 or 15 minutes long. And I feel like if you're going to write a very, a kind of a song in a more bombastic, epic style that is not necessarily like a book, like The Great Escape by Seventh Wonder, I think this 14, 15-minute length is a good time slot to aim for, I guess.
Without being totally self-indulgent.
Yeah, without being totally obnoxious.
I don't know. I think it's dangerous to think like that.
It's dangerous.
True, because Highlander's only 12. And
it feels like 20.
because the thing is that first in music, minutes and seconds aren't that relevant per se.
This is true.
You are thinking of tempo, of beats, at least in Western music, right? So you can make a really slow song be long in minutes, but have few information, few things happening, and it might not feel long, and it might feel long, and maybe you want to do a super fast song, and aiming to 14 minutes with a song that is constantly at 200 BPM might be a challenge.
That sounds exhausting.
For sure.
If you don't have like multiple sections that actually justify you having
like a break,
song.
Taking a break.
Yeah, intermission, a bathroom break.
Yeah.
Something I'm curious about is why do you think bands make these long songs? Like, what's the motivation? Is it just to be self-indulgent? Is it because metal is epic and longer is more epic?
Definitely. I think definitely one, metal is epic, and two, actually no. The main reason would be because these songs mostly have concepts. There's always a story that is trying to be conveyed. Maybe except for the Highlander. Maybe is the Highlander about what is
like
that?
The movie?
Well, don't say that the concept is like waiting and sacrificing yourself for something. I just take his word for it because I didn't care for any words.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't think there is much of a concept other than general.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I'm wondering if it's about that old TV show, The Highlander.
Oh, the movie. I think it was a movie originally, and then the show.
Oh, and then they changed it to a series.
They do have a song about Highlander, the movie. That's Heart of Storm on the first one, because they like quote it at the end.
So maybe they like Highlander a lot.
Yeah, maybe they're just fans of Highlander.
So for any one of our listeners that might be too young to know this, Highlander was a franchise. It's a fantasy thing, and the idea is that there are people that are immortal, and an immortal can kill another immortal by cutting their head off.
Connor MacLeod.
Yeah, they were
from
Scottish.
The Scottish Highlands. Yeah, this is a movie and later a TV series about Scottish immortals.
Yeah,
the original movie is pretty dope.
Yeah,
who
Sean
carried
Connery was
swords. There. They carried swords, and then they would have to slice each other's heads off.
Yeah, there's like the catchphrase. Yeah, the main phrase of the thing was "There can be only one."
There can be only one. Yeah,
only one immortal.
I learned English watching The Highlander on USA. Like small me who immigrated to the US.
Nice.
So that's where it all went wrong.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
happened.
why you're so metal.
Also,
yeah.
another fun fact, the movie Highlander 2 was filmed in Argentina, and it was treated as a joint Argentinian French US production, something like that. And it was a financial disaster on making it, and it's considered one of the worst movies ever made.
Amazing. I want to watch
It's
it.
amazing.
Well, all the Highlander sequels are shit, aren't they?
Yes. Because the second one is considered one of the worst movies ever made, and the third one just tries to change the things that the second one changed, and then I don't know if there's any more than that, but yeah, just stick with the animated series or something.
Or you can watch the USA TV series.
The USA TV series.
Is that even on the internet?
I
think
no
it's on
idea.
Netflix.
I
I
never
remember
tried
seeing it on
looking.
Oh my
Amazing.
god.
Amazing.
All right.
Or
Well,
you can
that's a
or you can listen to a
concept.
Lost Horizon song.
Or you can listen to Lost Horizon song, although
Yeah.
it doesn't really. Yeah. So a lot of these songs have a plot or something, that a story that they're trying to convey, or at least a concept, a
An
feeling,
idea.
an idea.
There was an idea
Yeah.
to bring together a bunch of magnificent musical sections
Mhm. Maybe
for
a story.
a purpose greater than themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe a full story, maybe a particular feeling, maybe just a quest.
Yeah,
on a PS1 game.
A big epic quest.
What is Pathfinder's Beyond the Space Beyond the Time about?
I have no
I
idea.
have no
It's
idea.
about beyond. I think it's just generic power metal fantasy.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing fucking song.
See,
I
okay,
love
I
that
guess that's
song.
an example of a song that never had a concept that actually
Maybe I
kind
should
of worked.
read the lyrics one day.
Uh,
But because it's like we are beyond the space, beyond the time, beyond the light, beyond the dark.
oh, it
I
might
don't
just
know.
be a bunch of Polish people who.
It's Polish. Not Don. How do you
Have-
feel about Pathfinders Beyond the Space, Beyond the Time?
Well, I think it's great, but I don't think it's about anything. Though, aren't there like spoken word sections on Pathfinder? Or am I imagining it?
I don't think they're on that song.
There is on the second album something
Oh.
about metal being the fifth element,
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's lots of metal elements.
other than earth, fire, wind, and water. There is the fifth element, and that
Is
is
it-
metal.
What?
Hey, I've watched Avatar.
Yeah,
They said
we all know
was
metal
Earth.
is Earth. Yeah, we all
Yeah.
know that. They're wrong.
There's more
Pathfinder
elements
loses.
than 5. Go to chemistry class. Stay in school,
Yeah.
kids.
We like the classical elements,
Yeah.
or maybe the fifth element is love.
Oh, maybe it's love. Maybe,
maybe
that's
it's
the
Elsa.
hidden element. We are so off topic,
Yeah.
which is totally on brand.
Off
kind of.
topic, on brand. There you go. That's
yeah,
a good
off topic,
catchphrase.
on brand. So, yeah. Any last thoughts on long songs?
I just noticed that like Avantasia is the only one that has multiple vocalists.
On this list, on this playlist, I think Avantasia is the one that has one vocalist per character.
Maybe Nightwish.
Nightwish has two in the Greatest Show on Earth, because Marco sings like 4 bars of music. But I don't think he sings anything on Ghost Love Score.
If you
yeah.
count like choirs and shit, then like
No,
That's
I
a
don't
lot
count
of
that.
vocals.
That's fucking
That's
trash.
most- that's
Yeah,
a lot of
that
them.
doesn't count like parts, like
Backing
lead
track.
parts. It has to be lead
Yeah.
vocalist.
Well, Seventh Wonder Great Escape has Tommy's sister, I think, come in
Right.
and do a section.
Yeah, and I think there was
But a lot of these are generally like main vocalist
Yeah.
driven.
Galnerius
maybe
has
a
one
second
guest
cast.
vocalist.
Oh yeah,
in Angel's
Galnerius
Salvation.
has the soprano at the end.
Yeah, and then except on the snot.
Gloryhammer has like different characters talk at some points. Like Zargothrax will come in and like talk shit, or like
Talk shit.
or like Hoots shows up in Fires of Ancient Destiny.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
What I think
works.
is interesting, the earliest long song we have on our list are the 2 from Halloween's Keeper of the Seven Keys, which, Halloween on part 1 and Keeper's title track on part 2. So this has been a part of power metal basically since the beginning in the 80s.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool.
Yeah, it is. It is because traditionally, everyone goes back to this album to say this is the start of power metal. And here we have the long song. And the long song that, honestly, they are both great. They're nice to listen to. They play them live in full, and it doesn't feel like you're like, oh, this song is going on forever. No, not at all. It's a great time all throughout. So maybe...
Yeah, and it's only driven by one vocalist, but it has crazy guitar solos. Mm-hmm. They trim the fuck out of the Halloween for a music video, which makes me sad.
That happens always with the music videos. Like Galnerius' music video for Angel of Salvation is half the song. Mm-hmm. But it's like amazing that it even has a music video made. That means that the parts that they could salvage are really worth it. X Japan's Art of Life has a radio edit, and that's just the final third of the song, the third movement.
Yeah, shout outs to Halloween for doing long songs all the way from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was cool.
Before it was cool. The OG power metal band.
I mean, long songs existed in music.
Yeah, of course. Long songs existed before then. But still.
But as the epic conclusion to your epic metal album, you can't ask for more.
Yeah.
I do think it's weird when they put the long song in the middle of the album because it really demarcates the first and second half of the album for me. It's like there's like the before the long song and then the after the long song.
Well, maybe that's the intention. Maybe it's like a stage play when you have this big showstopper moment.
Different acts.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think Twilight Force's second album is kind of like that, where it's like there's 10 songs and like the 5th and the 10th one are the long ones, so it feels relatively distinct. Whether that was their intention or not, or to just kind of space things out.
I just thought this is Heroes of Mighty Magic, right? Purple Dragon, Colors of Dragon, Purple Dragon. Yeah, this was weird. I just feel like this was a collection of like fucking Twinkle Orchestra. That had no sense or order. Like, why? Why were these songs put in any of their locations? I don't know.
Maybe they were just like rolled a D20.
Yeah, maybe. And they're like, oh, I guess we're gonna do There and Back Again as track 5, which is 10 minutes. And then the one after that, we'll just do a short one because that makes no sense. Or like, there's no logical story progression. I know it's supposed to be a concept album, but like, it doesn't.
Is it?
I don't know. There's narration. I'm guessing it's a concept album. I didn't listen to it. Well, I listened to album. I didn't listen to narration. I am quite fond of Sapphire Dragon and There and Back Again, but concept album makes no sense. Yeah.
All right. Does that do it for our big epic discussion?
Yeah. So towards the end, we were just like, oh, random thoughts. But yeah.
What have we learned?
We've learned that
length doesn't matter. Get good.
Get good, scrub. Length doesn't matter. Stop putting weird shit in your songs just to make it long.
Yeah.
Done. End of podcast.
No, we got like 4 albums to review.
Yeah. I was kidding.
Oh.
End of discussion for that. So yeah, let us know what you think about long songs, if you enjoy them. What are some of your favorite long songs? What are some of the ones that you think are too long? Yeah, just let us know in the Facebook, the Gram, or wherever you find us on the internet.
And do check the playlist that should be linked somewhere, wherever you're listening to this.
In our playlist.
There might be songs there that we haven't talked about because we are remembering that they exist now, and we just keep adding them. It's a Spotify playlist, and we'll probably make a YouTube playlist as well.
Yeah.
For those who don't
just
want
play
to
it
use
at work.
Spotify.
It's about 9 hours long. So it's like your work
longer.
and your commute. Hopefully you don't have that long of a commute because that sounds horrible.
Yeah,
But yeah,
9 hours.
That's pretty brutal. Let's review some albums because that's always fun.
So first up on the review docket, Lovebites, Electric Pentagram.
Nice album. That's a rad power metal album right there.
Well, this album's not out in the US, so there's no way that I could have ever listened to it. But if I did listen to it, it would probably think it's a really, really rad power metal album.
Yeah. Yeah, it's out in the rest of the world, and I'm in the rest of the world, so I listened to it many times.
It's out in Argentina, and is it out in Poland, in like Europe?
Yes.
Oh,
It is.
It's out everywhere except the US, as far as I know.
Lucky
Everywhere
Yeah.
except the fucking
And probably
US.
Canada. But yeah,
when's the US release date?
in April something.
April something.
Oh, okay. All right. So our US listeners are going to have to wait a bit, but we can assure you that this rips. Absolutely
Yeah.
rips.
Yeah, it really does. It follows on what they did on the previous albums, but it's now maybe a bit more melodic in general.
Yeah, there's some really like melodic, like inspiring power metal songs on here.
Yeah, I'd say it sounds more Japanese than the previous albums. If anyone,
I think so. I
feels
think
like that.
I think the melodies sound very Japanese, and I think the guitar and the instrumentals sounds very European power metal.
Yeah, and that's there's still some freshiness there, some old school metal in there, as they did in the previous albums, of course.
Yeah.
But now it feels a bit, I don't know, like a more complete picture. It has more colors. Maybe that's a good way to describe
It
it.
has more colors. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you still have like the main dish where like the bulk of it is like, you know, your typical fast power metal-y stuff, but they do mix it up a good amount with like the Dance with the Devil is an interesting song where it almost seems like a dance, or like Frozen Serenade, which has like the slower beginning and then the crazy like fucking end of it as well, is one of my favorites.
Mhm.
My favorite track is When Destinies Align, and I believe that is on US Spotify.
That was a single.
Yeah. I love that track.
Yeah,
I didn't even know it was a single, but I love that track.
it has the cliche "carry on" in it.
Yeah,
which
you gotta carry
and
on.
When a power metal song tells me to carry on,
I'm gonna do it. I'm
happy.
carrying
I'm
on.
gonna do it. I'll carry the
Yeah.
fuck on.
Carry on.
Yeah, we're gonna.
on.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And since we're so focused on song lengths today, all of these songs are between 5 and 6.5 minutes, which is impressive.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's all very straightforward stuff. There's no bullshitting around.
Yeah, and they're like lengthy enough because the musicians want to showcase their instrumental prowess.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Oh yeah, the solos, the guitar solos on the song
Yes.
are incredible.
Yeah. I would love to see them play live. I've checked a couple of videos of their tour with Dragon Force, and
I'm
they
so
are great
like
performance.
salty that they toured in the UK.
Well, it's amazing.
It must have been so amazing.
Honestly, it's amazing they even got to tour in the UK. I think the UK and France are the countries that get the most Japanese acts to play there, and it's good to see that, and great to see that more countries there is
Yeah,
an actual
good
market.
that they're getting
Asian
recognition
bands.
outside of Japan. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to this album officially when it comes out, just to bump up their stats for the Western market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm
Absolutely.
gonna see if I can get it in real life too.
Oh man, I knew somebody went to Japan like a month ago. Maybe I could have told them to get me this album.
I was able to get Awakening from Abyss and the Clockwork one from like
Clockwork
yeah,
Immortality?
from like US markets.
Yeah, those are in
Yeah.
the US. They're just not in.
Yeah, so we're just gonna
I mean, this
have
one's
we're
not in
just gonna
Japan.
have to wait and see if they have a US label release it. Otherwise, you can tell somebody to get it from Japan, and the albums there are I got my brother to get me Japanese albums. That was fun. I got the Japanese Vision Divine. It's like thick and 2 albums and like ridiculous.
thick with two
Yeah,
C's.
thick with like 3 C's.
Nice.
What would you guys say are your favorite songs from this particular album? I think mine might be Golden Destination. I think that one, just the melodies were the best for me. Also, Swan Song at the end has a very awesome whoa part, which I'm always a sucker for.
I already said Destiny's Line.
I like Golden Destination a lot. I like When Destiny's Lying, and I don't know. I like bits and pieces of all of these songs. It's worth checking the whole thing.
It's all worth listening to.
All right. Do we want to talk about Bros of Metal?
No.
Not really.
I'll talk about Bros of Metal.
So Don's the one who
bit.
answered my question.
I don't know why they get so many views. Though it confuses me.
Bros of Metal.
They're like super popular, and for some reason, no idea.
Okay. So Kyle listened to this album. Will you review it for us, Kyle? You can say no.
Sure.
These are yes or no
I'll be
questions.
brief. I have mixed feelings on the album. I like parts of it, like the things I liked about the first Brothers of Metal album. I like the two vocalists sort of playing off each other. I like the general vibe of the Norse mythology that they put to it. It's just the songwriting really holds them back on this album because it's like half the album it sounds like they're just trying to write Yggdrasil again, because that was like the big hit from
Yggdrasil again.
the last one.
Oh my god.
Which maybe that's just they're going to be their thing. They're just going to do those slower, more like anthemic. And I wouldn't even say arena metal. It's slower than Sabaton. That's scandalous.
Wow.
Are you even walking at this point?
There's like one fast song on this album, which is Ride of the Valkyries, which is 3 minutes long. And it's one of the better songs on the album. Maybe just because I'm a power metal dude who likes things to be fast. The other song I like the most on this is probably the title track of Emblas Saga. It feels like that's the one where they tried the most on writing different, interesting song portions, and not just a big anthemic metal thing or a let's fuck around with silly Norse mythology things. Their lyrics are weird because they do, I think, are just like straight Norse mythology lore, because they have like the theft of the hammer, which is like the story when Thor had to like disguise himself as a girl to get his hammer after Loki stole it. So it does make for like a fun time, like a wacky good time with sort of tongue in cheek. I think that's why they get as popular as they do. Like their music videos are mostly just like people dressing up and fucking around in the forest, which
sounds kind of fun, actually.
Metal. Yeah. So it's like you know how like Hailstorm is like party pirate metal? This is party Viking metal.
Yeah, party Viking metal.
And it's like I'm gonna get my bros. I'm gonna sway back and forth while I'm drinking mead and I'm shirtless, and it's just like we stand as one until we something forever. So I think that's just kind of the vibe they're going for. I think they could be so much more if they tried more things with their songs.
Maybe they're totally happy being party Viking metal. Yggdrasil has 10 million views on Spotify. These guys are way more popular than I thought.
Jesus. Yeah, these guys are a very new band and they get a lot of attention on the internet.
Amazing. I think it's because of their cool outfits, honestly.
Yeah,
it's their aesthetic.
It's
you
the
need
aesthetic,
an aesthetic to be cool now.
Yeah, like wine grows.
Yeah, you need to
metal.
be a dwarf. Maybe there'll be elves soon.
Are these guys on Napalm too? Because that seems Napalm loves to do shit like this.
I think it's AFM.
Maybe they might not. Oh, it's at AFM. Maybe this is AFM's way of competing.
Yeah,
they're gonna pump money into these guys.
Yeah, cool.
Just don't hold yourself back, guys. You can be more than that. That's my thoughts on Brothers of Metal.
Cool. So next album we want to talk about is by Seven Spires, Emerald Seas.
This is a cool one.
This is really good. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do we describe Seven Spires? They do a variety of styles of like melodic metal. Some things are power metal. Some things are death metal.
I think these guys are like how do I say this? Like symphonic black metal inspired power metal ish kind of.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just do like corset.
I just like word
metal.
vomited. It's like
more symphonic,
corset core.
Symphonic power, but more symphonic than power. Actually, it's more. I think it's symphonic metal. Like if you ask me, just out of like, it's symphonic
I think
metal.
I would just say symphonic metal. Yeah, symphonic metal.
Yeah, that's the simplest one.
Yeah, and I feel like Emerald Seas, this band has improved vastly over there. They just sound a lot more refined now. And this.
Do you think they are candidates for 2020's improvement of the year, most improved?
I really like the first one. I don't
think
know.
so. I quite like the first one, but I think this one is very cohesive, and this is what I feel like Camelot could have sounded like if they made a good album.
Ooh.
They do have that sort of like edginess to them that Camelot does.
And I just love Adrian's vocal performance. She is so talented and can do so many different styles of vocals, and you get to experience all of it in this album.
I feel like Adrian Cohn is one of the like rising stars in the American metal vocalist thing.
Yeah. I remember when she was just a YouTuber, like talking about classes. And now look.
And she collaborates with Angra and Avantasia. Yeah. She's touring with, Seven Spires and Insomnium and Amaranth later.
Yeah, I'm
She's
excited
like teaming
to
up with
see
Sasha Pave.
them open for Insomnium later this next month.
They're just about to start touring. This, I think it is a bit interesting to mention, like, okay, they're similar to Camelot's style of power metal. The song Every Crest on this album, which is one of my favorites, it's one of the faster, more power metal type songs. It is almost like a straight ripoff of Veil of Elysium by Camelot, which is, I was wondering why I liked it so much. I'm like, oh, it's that Camelot song I really like.
Congrats.
With Adrian's vocals instead of Tommy's. They should collab. That'd be
the
good.
drums is like
great.
A copy of Camelot's, or like highly inspired at least.
I really like the song Succumb in this album. It's my favorite.
That was the single.
It's beautiful. Beautiful song.
I agree.
Yeah, I put that as one of my favorites. I think it's interesting some of the more like the brutal stuff they have in here, like the Drowner of Worlds and Fearless and Unmapped Darkness. It's so like edgy, but it does kind of have that Beauty and the Beast mentality that I think some of the symphonic metal.
This is very symphonic metal /
That's a staple
core,
of symphonic metal.
Of corset core, like some of our friends like to call it.
Yeah.
That's a great name for it.
It's a funny name. It's kind of tongue in cheek. It's like it's making fun of the Nightwish inspired symphonic metal bands with like a soprano lead, except here both the Beauty and the Beast are the same person.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and I really prefer this style with a more, I don't want to say, but let's call it a rock vocalist instead of a classical vocalist.
Yeah. That's
a very clear and bright, even at times like a strong sound, a really strong sound that's not just a soft, refined sound. I enjoy
like
it a lot.
a female lead who projects their voice.
Yeah, it's just singing more like instead of ooh.
Great impression.
She does a lot of like harmonies on the choruses, like layering her voice in different ways that are really awesome.
Oh, there are a couple of moments I was really surprised. There are moments in 3 or 4 of the songs where the harmonies go stupidly high, and it really always caught me off guard, and it created a really cool texture.
The symphonic stuff and the piano in this album is really interesting too. Like I've been listening to Unmapped Darkness, and even though you have all the metal screaming in it, you have this nice little throughput of the piano that I think adds this extra like emotional element to it. Really makes the songs work.
Yeah.
I think one of my other favorites was the second to last song, The Trouble with Eternal Life, which I feel like maybe they could have turned into a bigger, longer song. I mean, we've talked about a lot in this episode. The longest song of the year is like 5 minutes long, where they could have, I think, maybe played with this a bit more. The outro of Emerald Seas kind of ties in with the outro of this song, so maybe it's kind of what they're going for.
Yeah, and they decided to just keep it as 2 tracks,
so you can skip the outro.
Yeah, again, I don't know if there's actually a story or concept to this album, but it seems very thematic, like the color scheme of the art and the whole like ocean-y marine quest theme kind of ties this album together really well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd call it like a piratey album.
Piratey. What
but
a nice word.
it does evoke like a certain mood that I think the album art sells.
There's one aspect of that many of these songs have that are like the polar opposite of the harsh vocals and maybe those stronger moments, that it's like a lot of melodies in this feel like a Disney princess song in the way they are composed, like the way the melodies move. And I really like that because it's fresher compared to other stuff that we usually listen to in these styles. It's like, I'm not sure how to describe it without just listen to the songs, and you'll notice that there are ones that just feels like the melodies that are being used are more like a character going through a change of some sort, just by the melodic line. I don't know about the words.
Never really thought about it that way. That's cool.
Like a musical movie where it's like this character is going from A to B.
Yeah. There are many moments in this album where the main melodies feel like that instead of just being this cool phrase that we can repeat. I mean, they do repeat it and everything, but the way it's written, it feels more like that, like a beat of we are aiming at a musical kind of thing.
So if Frozen was metal.
If Frozen was metal.
Yeah, there's actually one of this.
And In the Ocean.
There's one of these that is like that, like, what was the melody like? Na 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 na, something like that, and it feels like a moment in Frozen.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, you almost made it sound like a Zelda song too.
Mm-hmm. Zelda's Lullaby.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. All right, so Seven Spires Emerald Seas, definitely not one to miss so far this year. The last album that we wanted to talk about is Demons and Wizards. The album is called 3 in Roman numerals because it's their third album. Wow.
I really hate it when bands just like make the album like something to do with the number of what it is in their discography.
This is my third album.
Like Dream Evil had 6. Sonata Arctica had the 9th.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, you're right. It's so tacky.
Lazy.
Well,
Teresa's 2013.
I think there might be a specific reason. I'm not sure. I might be pulling at this, but I listened to this album today, and what I heard is that there was a lot of old rock in this album.
Oh.
Specifically, it felt like there was a lot of Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin vibes in this album throughout, in small sections, interspliced with the chuggy
I can
sections.
see that.
It's like there's
like the heavy rhythm guitars.
We have the chugginess that honestly I didn't like, but then there was a moment there's a song that's a lot of acoustic guitar, and it sounds like that kind of old rock.
Yeah, some songs are heavily acoustic, like especially the longer ones in this album.
Yeah,
which is odd.
I like that approach more than the metal moments. And, it might be laziness to call it free. It might be reminiscing of Led Zeppelin's album Free. Because Led Zeppelin didn't have album names for the first 4. They were just called 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
In Roman numerals. And maybe it's something to do with that because I honestly heard it and it felt like that. It could be.
It's very like heavy rock-ish.
Yeah. Still not a fan overall, sadly, of the album.
I feel the same way about this album that I do most Demons and Wizards stuff, and that I like a handful of the songs, and it's mostly because of the stuff that Hansi is doing. I'm just not really into John Schaefer's guitar playing in most of this.
But he's damn good at his riff.
He plays a different riff.
One riff
in Diabolic. Diabolics is like the one song that sounds different.
It has another riff and not the one riff.
Yeah. Most of the songs that I've put as like my favorites is usually just because I thought Hansi was doing cool things with his vocals. Like I put Split as one because there's this part where it is really fast and then it's Hansi's like screaming in the background while like being really aggressive, and it kind of reminds me of some Blind Guardian stuff too. So those are the ones that get to me more. Or I think it was New Dawn, where it's more like of like a choir type of Hansi. I was into that as well. I'm curious what you guys think about the long songs, Timeless Spirit and Children of Cain. Children of Cain is the only one long enough to be on our official list, TM, but Timeless Spirit's just a little shy.
I don't know. I listened to it today, and I barely remember what belongs in this song from what I heard. And that should tell you a lot.
Fair enough. I didn't much care for Timeless Spirit, but I did like Children of Cain. I feel like there was like this sort of quality to it, like when there's acoustic guitar just kind of doing this like mystical little like doodaloo doodaloo thing with Hansi just being Hansi. It's a vibe that I can be down with. So it's not a very exciting metal song, but I like it as like an atmospheric thing.
I don't think I didn't add it to the playlist because I don't think it belongs with the other metal songs.
It's not very metal now.
And it has some of the things that I mentioned, like more like the old rock from Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, mostly Led Zeppelin, now that I think about it. But it's still not quite there. Maybe it's just the moments where the chugs coming that break it for me.
I think it was cool for them to have a song about Stormlight archived. They've got Final Warning on here, just as someone who's been getting into Cosmere, Brandon Sanderson stuff the last couple of years.
Cool.
I mean, I think I like Eons Enthroned song better, just because it's more straightforward power metal. This one has Hansi on it though, so you guys gotta work on that.
That's a tough thing to compete with. Yeah. So overall, I think we've talked about this casually, but usually when we rate albums, they're either like, wow, this is amazing, or like, this is terrible, you should burn it. This one, I think
should burn it.
I think this one is neither of those. It just exists. And I don't remember being like startled at any moment by it, either good or bad. It was just kind of forgettable to me.
Yeah.
Now that we have 3 Demons and Wizards albums, I can't help but think, how the hell did they write Fiddler on the Green? That song is such a standout from this entire discography to me.
Yeah, I agree.
In terms of
Fiddler
style
on
and
the
quality.
Green is like, it was so powerful that they closed their show with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this track is a journey.
I wish Hansi would collaborate with someone else, maybe.
Someone else who writes things.
Maybe Tobias Sammet?
Dude, there you go. More Hansi on Avantasia.
Maybe as a separate project, because Avantasia's been going kind of weird lately. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
I'm doing great.
I used to like them way more than I do now.
Well, but they're
okay.
still doing great.
They're still doing great.
Even
but
if
it's
they
just
don't,
like,
even if they lose you,
if they lose me,
great.
but they've gained like thousands of people, which is wonderful.
They've got plenty of people who like them.
Yeah, no, I think the best modern Avantasia album is Mystery of Time. And then after that,
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after that, it's just like a little bit drawn out, and it's high on the star power and the guests, but it's just, yeah, it just becomes long for the sake of being long, which is something we talked about earlier.
Okay, yeah, that might be.
Yeah, so I'm kind of not into it now. I was really into Avantasia. I fucking loved Avantasia, okay? Don't get me wrong.
I think Sammet with their 2 latest albums went into like a bit folky area.
A little bit, yeah.
When Mystery of Time was more like, not even power metal, it was more like rock.
Yeah, it was a true rock opera.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Demons and Wizards is, I'm not even sure what to call it. It's John Schaefer just kind of goes, and Hansi just kind of uses the melodies that he didn't feel like using in Blind Guardian.
Demons and Wizards is a thing.
It's a project. It's almost like an experiment.
It is. And It's fine. Like, we shouldn't kill it with fire or anything.
No,
It's
like
fine. It's
like I said, I'll steal bits and pieces of this and incorporate it into regular listening, and then the rest of it'll just kind of be there.
yeah.
I don't think it's right to ask, did this album live up to 15 years of anticipation? Because that was never really the point. They weren't, in the lab, cooking it up for 15 years. It was just kind of,
They're like, let's start touring and stuff.
Yeah, we got shit to do.
And then we should probably make an album or something.
It's like, and then John's over the years like, hey, Hansi, I wrote a thing and check it out. Like, oh yeah, that's kind of neat. I've been working with this. Maybe it would fit better for like a rock thing than a Blind Guardian epic metal thing.
Yeah. So it's all good.
Yeah, it's there. It's all right.
All right. So that was our review of Demons and Wizards Roman numeral 3.
Yep.
Or maybe it's just or I.
Weird sounds. Okay. Any last thoughts?
So of the 4 albums that we talked about today, what's the best one? Which one's album of the year?
Album of the year? It's March. Lovebites Electric Pentagram, which will be out in the US next month. So be on the lookout for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd probably put Lovebites so far.
Lovebites.
Although, spoilers for next time, I really liked the preview for the Dark Forest album. So that might be up there too.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be on the lookout for that next month too. Or whenever that's out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's April something.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm excited to review Human pipe nature.
Dude, next episode's gonna be lit because we got Nightwish and Dark Forest. I'm looking
forward to the review section. We haven't decided a topic yet, but it's gonna be good. Okay, so if you made it this far, thanks for listening. Follow us on the social medias at Powerful Podcast, wherever you might find us. And thanks for listening, and stay powerful.
Stay powerful.
Stay powerful.
You got to draw it out because it's the long song.
It's
a long song.
Yeah, sadly, this
riddly diddly.
This should be the longest episode, but it's not.
Longest.
Well, it's the most epic episode.
Let's end it with 1 hour of silence.
Oh.
Okay.
Dude, we'll do the Camelot Karma thing where they wanted it to be 55, and so they have 10 minutes of silence at the end.
Okay, everyone, stay powerful.
Powerful.